Real talk, they gotta bring the Metro card back. Like, for real. I don't usually nah, I can't say I don't usually rant, but I wanna rant today about Omni, this whole tap to pay kerfuffle that I've been seeing regarding Omni and the MTA. And obviously, um, I'll share a personal anecdote because it's the reason why I decided to do this whole rant. Let me fix my laptop so it's converted. So the other day I was hopping on the J train, and prior to me tapping my phone into the Omni display, I believe there was an older woman that was in front of me that had tapped. So I don't know if it didn't recognize my my first attempt to like tap and go, but it apparently it didn't. So then I had to tap it again because I was like locked. Um, if for those of you that don't know, like there's like they have like multiple sorts of entries or gates that they utilize to like try and stop fare evasion bullshit. Most of them don't work. But this one is like bars, and the bars spin. You have to like walk through. It's kind of like when you're going through like to like Rikers and going to like the jails, um, or visiting people that are in jail. It's kind of like that setup, whole security setup. Anyways, I'm kind of locked in, so I have to tap it again onto the display, and it recognized the second time. The whole time I'm thinking to myself, I really hope and pray this shit don't double charge me. And lo and behold, the shit double charged me $6 for one ride. And I think for me, it was a combination of a lot of things um like cash is tight. So like any little like inconvenience when it comes to spending, like I get tight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really get upset. Like if I don't need to spend money that doesn't need to be spent and it ends up being spent, I get fucking tight. Um Another thing is just the whole um this whole push of needless technology down our throats. Like when it comes to like AI being implemented into daily life when it doesn't need to be is very frustrating. Um, I can think of several examples. I mean, even when you're using like your browsers now, like if you're on Google Chrome, I don't know if you've noticed, but like they've implemented their their um their AI chatbot Gemini into the browser, and is useless. But they need this is the thing. I didn't want to touch on this. Like this is a separate topic. These AI hyperscaler companies, your Googles, your Amazons, your Microsofts, your Metas, big tech companies, um, they are spending so much on AI and they're not making that money back, right? And so they have to like just push out these products in order to tell their investors, hey, people are using our services and our products, even though they're not making money from it. So it's really a lose-lose. It's a lose for like us, right? It's a lose for us. It's also a lose for them because they're not making money. The people that are making money are at the end of the day, um, not even investors really. It's really um people that are selling these these AI dreams and these AI apocalypse scenarios. Those are the people that are like making money. You're grifters, essentially. the AI grifters, like your Sam Altmans. Um, damn, I don't know if y'all heard about this Leopold dude, like situational awareness. That shit is crazy. I might talk about that some other day. But essentially, yeah, like this needless technology that's being shoved down our throats is very annoying, and it's concerning because it also ties into what I'm about to segue into, which is privacy. Now, prior to Omni being um, rolled out, you had your Metro card, and um, with the Metro card, in terms of privacy and this, like I call it anti-surveillance tech, it was up like very top notch in terms of like privacy, because who would really like peer into your transactions unless you're using your debit or credit card to um like re-up your Metro card balance. That's really the only way, like, someone nefarious, or like your banks or whatnot would surveil your spending. But if you're just using cash to re-up on your Metro card balance, like that's a very private and intimate transaction that no one can really trace or track. So in terms of privacy, the Metro card was very, I would say, like advanced. As advanced as probably prior to the Metro card, the tokens, right? The tokens were literally just these coins. Um, Tokens were in my era because they got phased out, I think, in 2000, 2001. So I'm technically a token baby. So I kind of remember tokens. I never used them, but I remember my parents using them. So I'm a token baby. But yeah, um, the whole idea with Omni rather was like, oh, this is how they get us with all these new technological advances. Convenience. It's much more convenient to, tap and pay and go rather than, using this archaic swipe or go swiping Metro card. And that's how they sold it to us, right? And a lot of us bought it because um I think even um prior to like I think Omni um prior to the Metro card being phased out completely as of I think January of this year, um the the displays were there. Like you could still swipe, but they were like slowly integrating these Omni displays onto the turnstiles. Um and a lot of people found it much more convenient to like tap their phone or tap their credit card or bank card onto a display rather than having to swipe. Because a lot of times when this is reminiscent, I'm reminiscing here. A lot of times when we used to swipe the Metro card, it too would be on some bullshit. Like you would swipe it and like turnstile would like jam, like sort of signaling that it didn't recognize your card. So you'd have to keep swiping and swiping. And bro, sometimes it was like trickling your balance. Like it was on some nefarious shit sometimes too. Like the Metro card, I'm not like the Metro card isn't innocent. But with Omni, it's exploitative. Like in terms of how, convenient it is. Like there's this is how they get you. They say, oh, if you tap, I think 12 times within a week, within like a 7-day period, the rest of the rides that you'll take after the 12th tap, or yeah, after the 12th ride or tap is free, within the 7-day period. The thing is, um, that used to be on the Metro card, like that used to be like a weekly fare that you could purchase. But now with the Omni, like you can't even you can't tell. You know, you can't tell you can't really quantify what is a ride and what's not a ride. You know what I'm saying? It it's a mess. It's a mess. Cause even with the Metro card, like you would know like how much you've spent in your balance. That was like one of the best features, if not like up there in terms of the privacy feature that the Metro card had. It displaying the balance and telling you, yo, this is sorry, I keep looking out the window because the clouds are really looking dark. It's been raining all week, which is kind of surprising because it's like late July. Um Anyways, I'm not a meteorologist, so yeah, like the best feature with the Metro card was the balance being displayed on the digital strips on turnstiles. And now, like it doesn't tell you your balance, right? Because you know you're using your Metro card, you're using your credit card or the Omni card itself, and it's not displaying like your balance. The only way to know the balance is if you go to like the Omni machine, right? And like I've personally not used an Omni card. I just use I'm guilty. I'm guilty. I just use like tap to pay, and that's what my frustration has. It's boiled to a point where I don't think MTA is doing enough to really crack down on this company that they've partnered with. Like it seems as though um this company that rolled out Omni is walking the MTA rather than the MTA, enforcing, you know, um enforcing what it wants to see um with public transportation in terms of public transportation. And I think going back to like what we were talking about yesterday, like this whole idea of privatization, it's one of capitalism's insidious um creations. Not even one of it is capitalism's most insidious creation. This idea that these small entities can do something better than the public can. It's nonsense. I mean, that's how pretty much before like the MTA was like this consortium that we know today. It was like I think three different companies that were um operating the railroads in New York City. It was a fucking mess. Not to mention um you had like a bunch of like entities in charge of like uh what's the word I'm looking for? Like treating fires or like what I'm trying to say. Like before we had the FDNY, you had a whole like there were literally gangs that were um in charge of like uh fighting fires. Damn, I had a slow moment. And that was a fucking mess. Like there were literally instances where like one gang would watch a building burn because they didn't want to because yeah, they couldn't fight that fire there because that wasn't like their area or whatnot. It was a fucking mess. And this is what, privatization breeds. It just breeds this nasty environment of competition where they just want to make the most money that they can, but actually, you know, actually solving the problem is like secondary to them. And there was no inherent problem with the Metro card. Like obviously there were criticisms. Um, sorry. Like I mentioned, how there were glitches sometimes with the physical cards, but those instances did not outweigh the benefit that commuters got after using tokens. Like tokens were this, let's be frank, I mean, pretty archaic sort of relic of the 20th century. Damn, I sound like I sound like an ageist, but let's be honest. Like, if we were still using tokens today, I don't think that would be a good look for New York City. So we had to modernize, and we went ahead with uh, a more modern approach to uh, 21st century public transportation, and that was the Metro card. And I think it was a very good um, initiative that the MTA put out, um, in terms of allowing commuters this very simple utility to swipe and go, to use public transportation and mass transit in the city. Now with Omni, it's the rollout one was a mess. They kind of like rushed the trial run, and they didn't really listen to anybody's feedback. They kind of just like went ahead with their original plan to replace the Metro card. And then they didn't really meant like me mentioning like feedback. They didn't really care about the privacy implications and how this was an invasion of like our privacy. And with modern technology, convenience outweighs privacy. And I think in real time we're seeing the consequences of us surrendering our privacy for convenience. Like, you're you're much more prone to data breaches. Um, you're much more prone to having, your financial history just laid out bare for all these data brokers to see, and that's how they can, sell you all these like all these ads and trinkets on your on your feeds and whatnot. And it's also it also preys on like lower income people the most, because you already have these fares that are like fighting with gas prices almost. Like, I mean, $3 for a single ride is not that far from like $4 gas, right? So with Omni, you can basically keep raising that rate because there's really no check, because you already know people are gonna just, people are not gonna really care once they pull out their credit card, right? Like, oh, like, you're gonna get like 1% on every purchase anyways, so why don't you just use your credit card? You know, I just think that the MTA isn't really doing a good job in enforcing um enforcing their will, imposing their will rather on this company. And I really think that um us commuters in New York City need to like really turn the heat up on the MTA. And we should be able to choose how we pay for, our public transportation. Whether or not we continue to use Omni is an option, but definitely they should reconsider this permanence of Omni. Either they should find a different company, or they should really like hammer down on this relationship with Omni. That's all I got. Peace out.